Hi there, my name is Taro Iwamoto. I am a Feldenkrais practitioner. And in today's video, I want to talk about how you stand habitually and how that affects attention in your feet, toes, and your balance also. Okay, so go ahead and take a stand. If you're able to stand without the shoes, without the socks, and stand on a firm surface, floor, even level, and stand with the shoulder width apart, and go ahead and just take a look at the how you are the shape of your the toes, and take a look at the both feet and both all the toes, and what's the shape of the toes, each toes. Is it curled? Is it extended? Is any toes lifted away from the floor, extended? So take a look at your toes and the shape of the toes and how you are positioning your feet and your toes. And also take a look at and feel how you are standing on your feet and how's your weight and distributed between the 2 feet, and also the balance front and the back. And can you feel more weight towards the heels, or can you feel more weight towards the toes, towards the front of your feet? Okay, so how you stand habitually, it changes the shape of the toes. And what I mean by that is, if you so stand still and then slightly shift your weight towards the heels. Okay, and you can feel as your weight goes further back towards the heels, and what happens is you begin to feel like you're gonna fall backwards, right? And in response to that weight shifting backwards, and what happens to the toes. Okay, so watch what happens to your toes as you slowly shift your weight back towards the heels. And can you feel the toes and starting to lift away from the floor a little bit and starting to extend a little bit? Okay, so all the extensors of the toes and ankles will be engaged and to keep you from falling backwards, right, as a response. If they didn't, then you're going to lose your balance more quickly and then you're going to fall on your back. And similarly, and you're going to now take a pause and then shift your weight towards the toes slowly. Keep going, and then when can you feel and that your toes, if you pay attention to the toes and the contact, how your toes are contacting the floor, and then as you shift your weight forward towards the toes, and notice what happens, and can you feel the toes starting to grip the floor? Okay, the further you shift your weight forward, and then the harder your toes can grip. So it is pretty common for the people who tend to lean forward and habitually, and then their toes are curled all the time because they are, in a way, they're falling forward constantly, and then the toes are working to keep them from falling forward. So for people who tend to shift and stand more towards the heels and leaning back a little too far, leaning back, and the toes and the ankles there, they tend to extend a little bit. And some people just standing without doing anything, their normal stance and their natural stance, and the toes are engaged and extended, or sometimes they're curled and gripping the floor, but they're just standing naturally. They're not trying to shift way forward or backwards. That just has become habitual patterns, and so that's how they adapted their balance. Okay, so but you can do this slow weight shifting forward and then back, and then paying close attention how that pressure on your toes, when the toes starting to press and grip into the floor, and shifting your weight back, and you can notice the transition from the gripping and then releasing, and then you go further back, and then the toes is starting to lift away from the floor, and now to keep you from falling back. So go slowly, shift your weight forward and back, and I'd like you to know where the toes and transition from a gripping to releasing, and then from there to lifting. Okay, and using that slow weight shifting and paying attention, and find where is the place where you stand without either lifting or gripping your toes. Okay. And so there is a place where you can stand and without engaging your toes at all. When you find yourself in a center, and so you are neither falling forward or falling backwards, and then therefore there's no need for the toes to be engaged in either flexing or extending. So if you pay attention, observe the shape of your toes and how you stand and how you shift your, how you distribute the weight on your feet and standing, and it'll let you know how you're standing, and then your balance. You tend to lean backwards, you tend to lean forward, because the toes are just simply responding to your center of the gravity and how you're standing on your feet. All right, so that's it, and I hope you find this interesting and helpful. And by doing that, and it might feel at first strange, and to find that place where your feet are neither pressing or lifting, especially if you are if you are habitually pressing, gripping your toes all the time, meaning that you are slightly shifting forward or lifting the toes, extending the toes constantly, because you are constantly leaning backwards. So for those of you to find that middle place, it's going to feel very strange because it's not your home. Okay, it's not your habitual standing place. But so just practice that, and then become a little more familiar with the standing in a neutral place, and notice what happens to the tension around your toes, around your feet, and notice how that affects your standing balance, and then also walking. Okay. All right, and if you have any questions, then please leave them in the comment section, and or any comments and feedback will be appreciated. Okay, and if you like this video, and please smash the like button, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. All right, thanks all for watching, and I'll see you in next video. Bye bye.